I've been thinking a lot about our closets lately, especially after seeing those paparazzi pics of Carrie Bradshaw's apartment in the and, and like that reboot.
Oh,
And it
yeah.
was just crammed with
Oh, I
shoes.
remember that.
And it made me wonder, like,
Mhm.
are we all just kind of drowning in clothes? You know?
Right.
But we still feel like we have nothing to wear.
Yeah, it's so
And I
true.
feel like there's this disconnect
Yeah.
between how much money we spend on clothes
Yeah.
and then how we actually feel about our wardrobe.
Well, and the average person spends like almost $1,800 a year
Oh, wow.
on clothing.
That's a lot.
But we always hear people saying, like, I have nothing to wear.
Yeah.
My closet's full, but
Well, yeah.
I don't have anything to wear.
And then there's that whole thing of like decision fatigue.
Right.
You know, you're standing in front of your closet
Yes.
and you just have too many choices.
Yeah.
And it's like the more choices you have, the harder it is to actually get dressed.
It's
It
true.
really is.
There's actually a name for that.
Really?
The psychologists call it like the paradox of choice.
Huh.
That the more choices you have, the more overwhelmed you get.
Makes sense.
And it's harder to make a decision.
So it's kind of like instead of adding more clothes to our closet,
Yeah.
what if we took a totally different approach
Yeah, exactly.
where it's more about being intentional with what we have
Right.
and maybe a little less about impulse buys?
Yeah. I think that's where a capsule wardrobe comes in.
Okay, capsule wardrobe.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes that phrase can sound kind of like minimalist or boring.
Right. Yeah.
Like you're just going to be wearing neutrals all the time.
Right.
And I don't know, it doesn't always sound that fun.
I know, but it's not about that.
Yeah.
It's really not about being boring or like, sacrificing your own personal style.
Okay.
It's more about figuring out what really works for you
Okay.
and curating a collection of pieces that you love,
Got it.
that you can mix and match.
So then, how do we find our personal style?
That's a good question.
You know, if we're trying to create a capsule wardrobe,
Yeah.
like how do we make sure it actually reflects who we are?
I think it starts with understanding what I like to call your personal style DNA.
Your style DNA. I like
It's
that.
like what colors, what
Mhm.
silhouettes, what textures
Yeah.
make you feel confident and authentic.
It's kind of like going deep into your fashion soul.
Yes,
and
exactly.
figuring out what makes you tick, you know?
It is, yeah.
But sometimes that's hard.
Oh, it definitely can be.
It can be hard to pinpoint that.
Yeah.
So what are some ways that we can actually do that?
Well, one thing you could do is look at your existing wardrobe
Okay.
and think about what are the pieces that you gravitate towards,
Got it.
and then what are some of those common threads,
Yeah.
like what colors,
Mm-hmm.
what patterns, what styles keep repeating themselves.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what about those of us who, like, really love color? You know, does a capsule wardrobe mean that we have to give up
Oh,
our bright colors?
not at all. No.
Okay, good.
Color can play a huge role
Okay.
in expressing your personality
Mm.
and can actually be really strategic
Oh, okay.
in a capsule wardrobe.
How so?
Well, different colors evoke different emotions.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Like blue is associated with trustworthiness and calmness.
Mm-hmm.
Red can convey like energy and passion.
That's like color psychology,
It is.
you know, and we're bringing that into our wardrobes
Yes.
to kind of help us achieve certain things
Right.
or project certain images.
Exactly.
I never thought about it that
It
way.
can be really powerful.
Like, I might choose a certain color top for a job interview
Right?
or a different color dress for a date.
Exactly.
So it's like we can actually use color to our advantage
you can.
when we're getting dressed.
Yeah.
Wow, this is making me rethink my whole closet.
Well, and don't forget about fit too.
Oh, yeah. Fit is so important. I feel like, I don't care how trendy something is.
Yeah.
If it doesn't fit well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to feel good in it.
Exactly.
And if I don't feel good in it,
You're not going to wear it.
I'm not going to wear it.
Right.
So it's not just about following trends.
No.
It's really about finding those pieces that flatter your body
Yeah, make you feel comfortable.
and make you feel confident.
Yes.
Okay, I'm totally sold on this idea of a capsule wardrobe.
Yeah.
But how do we actually put this into practice?
Well, a good starting point is something called the 80-20 rule.
The 80-20 rule.
Have you heard of that?
I have heard of that.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how it applies to our closets.
Well, basically, it means that we wear 20% of our clothes 80% of the time.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
So how do we figure out like what that 20% is?
I think the first step is to really take inventory of your current wardrobe
Okay.
and identify those pieces that you absolutely love. The ones that make you feel amazing.
Got it.
And then you can start to look for those common denominators.
So it's like we're detectives.
Yes.
We're trying to solve the mystery of our own personal style.
Exactly.
But what about, like, special occasion pieces?
Yeah.
Do those get factored into this 20%?
They definitely have their place.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't think they necessarily need to be part of the core capsule.
Hmm.
The key is to choose pieces that are versatile,
Okay.
so you can dress them up or down.
So like a classic black dress
Yes, perfect example.
that I could wear to work, or I could dress it up for a party.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's all about, like, maximizing the potential of each piece.
It is.
I love this idea.
Yeah.
That we can actually have a smaller wardrobe, but be more creative with how we style it.
Yes, absolutely.
But let's talk about sustainability for a minute.
Okay.
Because I feel like the fashion industry can be pretty wasteful.
It can be.
So how do we make sure that our capsule wardrobes are both stylish and sustainable?
Well, fast fashion
Yeah.
is a big problem.
It is.
It really is.
It's so easy to get caught up
Yes.
in buying those cheap, trendy items.
Yeah.
But then they end up in the back of our closet.
Right, and then in a landfill.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do we break free from that?
Well, I think one thing we can do is focus on quality over quantity.
Okay.
So instead of buying a bunch of cheap, trendy items, invest in pieces that are going to last.
That makes sense.
I look for durable fabrics like organic cotton, linen, or recycled materials.
So it's not just about how much it costs up front.
Right.
It's about, like, the cost per wear.
Exactly.
If you think about it, like, if I buy something that's really high quality and I wear it for years, that's actually more economical than buying something that's really cheap and falls apart
Exactly.
after a couple washes.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then we can't forget about secondhand shopping,
Oh, yes, that's a good point.
like thrifting
Yeah.
or going to consignment shops or even looking at online marketplaces.
Right.
You can find some amazing pieces that way.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to be sustainable.
It is.
But what if, like, someone's a little squeamish about buying things secondhand?
Well, there are other things you can do.
Okay.
You can look for brands that are ethical and sustainable.
Okay.
A lot of brands are starting to offer eco-friendly lines now.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
So we have options,
We do.
whether we're buying things new
Yeah.
or we're looking at the secondhand market. Okay, so we've talked about the practical stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it's also important to acknowledge the emotional side
Oh, yeah.
of decluttering your closet.
It can be really emotional.
Because it's not just about getting rid of clothes.
Right.
It's about, like, letting go of things that no longer serve us. And I feel like sometimes, a good closet clean out can be like a therapy session.
It can be.
Like, it really helps you clear your mind.
Yeah, I agree.
But what about those sentimental items?
Right.
The things that we hold on to, but we don't actually wear.
Yeah.
How do we decide what to keep
That's a good question.
and what to let go of?
Yeah, I think it's about finding a balance.
Okay.
Some sentimental items might have genuine emotional value, and those are okay to keep.
Yeah.
But others, they might just be taking up space
Right,
and
yeah,
collecting dust.
So we have to ask ourselves, like, is this bringing me joy?
Yeah,
Or is it just weighing me down?
exactly.
Okay, so what about seasonal changes?
Yeah.
Because if we're building a capsule wardrobe,
Right.
does that mean we're wearing the same things year-round?
Not necessarily. You can
No.
incorporate a seasonal rotation.
The seasonal rotation,
Yeah.
what does that look like?
Well, you basically swap out a few key pieces each season. So you're adapting to the weather and incorporating, maybe a few new trends
Okay.
without having to overhaul your entire wardrobe.
So how many items are we talking about swapping out?
A good rule of thumb is like 5 to 7 items each season.
Okay.
It could be sweaters, jackets, shoes, even accessories.
Okay, so we have our core capsule,
Right.
and then we're just adding a few things here and there
Exactly.
to keep it fresh
Yeah.
and seasonally appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay, so this brings us back to the whole budget thing,
Uh-huh.
because I feel like
Yeah.
if you're being intentional with your wardrobe
Right.
and you're investing in quality pieces, that can get expensive.
It can, but it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
It really doesn't.
So how do we make this work on a budget?
Well, like we talked about before, secondhand shopping
Oh, yeah.
is a great option.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, you can find amazing deals at thrift stores, consignment shops,
Yeah.
online marketplace.
And we're not just talking about, like, old, outdated clothes.
No.
You can find really great things at those
Adventurous.
places.
Yeah, you can find designer items
Yeah.
for a fraction of the price.
Okay, but what if someone's still, like,
Yeah.
not really into secondhand?
Well, there are other ways to save money.
Okay, like what?
You can look for sales and discounts.
Oh, yeah, good old sales.
Yeah, a lot of brands have sales.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Throughout the year,
Mm-hmm.
you can sign up for their email lists
Oh, that's a good idea.
or follow them on social media
Yeah.
to stay updated on the promotions.
So it's really about being a savvy shopper,
It is.
even if you're trying to build a capsule wardrobe.
Yes,
Okay, so we've covered a lot in this first part
we have.
of our deep dive into capsule wardrobes.
Yeah.
What are some of your key takeaways so far?
I think for me, it's realizing that a capsule wardrobe isn't about having less.
Okay.
It's about being more intentional with the pieces that you choose.
And having a wardrobe that actually reflects who you are.
Exactly.
Before we wrap up this first part,
Okay.
I want to leave our listeners with a question to think about.
Mm-hmm.
What truly defines your personal style?
Good.
Keep that in mind as we continue our deep dive.
You know, it's interesting you say that about personal style
Yeah.
because sometimes people think if they're creating a capsule wardrobe, they have to like give up their own like
Right.
unique sense of style.
Yeah.
But it's really the opposite.
Okay, how so?
Well, it's about figuring out like
Yeah.
what makes you know, what are those core elements, what I
Mhm.
call your personal style DNA
Uh-huh.
that really make you feel authentic.
Yeah, I love that idea of style DNA.
Yeah,
It's like you're figuring out the blueprint
it is.
for your wardrobe,
Exactly.
but sometimes that's hard to figure out.
It is. It definitely can be.
Like, how do we actually decode our style DNA?
Well, I think the best place to start is to look inward.
Okay.
What are the pieces in your wardrobe that you already love?
Got it.
The ones that you always gravitate towards.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are those colors, those
Yeah.
fabrics, those silhouettes that just make you feel good?
It's like you're doing a closet inventory,
Yes.
but you're focusing on
Yeah.
the things that spark joy.
Exactly.
But what about, like, looking outside of our own closets,
Oh, yeah, it does.
you know, to get inspiration?
You can look at magazines. You
Okay.
can browse Pinterest. You can even just people watch.
Oh, people watch it. I love that.
Yeah,
It's like free fashion inspiration.
it is.
So once you have a better idea
Yeah.
of, like, what you actually like,
Mm-hmm.
then you can start.
Then you can start bringing that into your capsule wardrobe.
Okay, so it's not about ditching everything you own
No, not at all.
and starting over.
No,
It's about looking at what you already have
right.
and, like, kind of editing and refining it
Yeah, curating it. Yeah.
to make it more intentional.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about this idea of personal style,
Yeah.
but what about the actual steps,
Okay.
you know, for building the capsule wardrobe?
Yeah.
Where do we even begin?
I think one of the best things you can do is a wardrobe audit.
Okay, a wardrobe audit.
Have you ever done one of those?
I have not.
Okay, well, it might sound intimidating.
Yeah.
A little bit.
But it's really not that bad.
Okay.
It's basically just taking a deep dive into your closet.
Okay.
You take stock of everything you have,
Mm-hmm.
and then you start to make decisions
Okay.
about what you want to keep and what you want to let go of.
So it's like a decluttering session,
It is.
but maybe with a little more
Yes. With more intention.
a strategy behind it.
Exactly.
So when I'm doing this wardrobe audit,
Yeah.
what are some questions I should be asking myself?
Well, you should ask yourself,
Okay.
does this fit me well?
Okay, that's a good word.
Have I worn it in the past year?
Oh, does it align with my personal style?
Mm-hmm.
And most importantly, does it make me feel good?
Those are good questions.
Yeah.
I feel like if you ask yourself those questions,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be pretty obvious
It will.
what needs to stay and what needs to go.
And as you go through this process,
Yeah.
you're going to start to notice patterns.
Well, okay.
You'll start to see,
Right.
like, oh, I always reach for these kinds of pieces.
Got it.
And these ones I never wear.
And hopefully you'll end up with a big pile of clothes to donate,
Yes,
which feels really good.
it does. It's very liberating.
Okay, so once we've decluttered,
Mhm.
what's next?
Then you can start building your capsule wardrobe foundation.
The foundation.
Yeah.
So this is where those, like,
Yes. The
essentials come in.
interiors, Yeah.
so what are some of the must-haves
Okay.
for capsule wardrobe?
It depends on your lifestyle and your climate.
Sure.
But some things that a lot of people find helpful are
Okay.
a good pair of jeans,
Okay, classic.
a classic white shirt,
Mhm.
a blazer that you can dress up or down,
Mm.
and a comfortable pair of shoes
Love it.
that can also be dressed up or down.
But how do we make sure those basics don't feel boring?
Well, that's where your personal style comes in.
Okay.
So, for example,
Yeah.
you know, if you love bright colors.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe instead of a black blazer,
Yeah.
you choose one in like a jewel tone.
Okay.
Or you could even add like
Yeah.
a fun pattern.
Yeah, like a stripe.
Yeah, a stripe.
Or a floral.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we're taking those basic pieces
Mm-hmm.
and we're infusing them with our personality.
Yes.
Okay, this is making me excited to actually
Yes.
start building a capsule wardrobe.
It can be really fun.
It does sound fun.
Yeah, and it's a journey, not a destination.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about being perfect.
No, yeah.
It's
It's about finding what works for you.
yeah, finding what works for you.
And it can evolve over time.
That's reassuring. Because I think a lot of people get caught up in trying to create the perfect capsule wardrobe.
The perfect capsule wardrobe.
And that can be overwhelming.
It can be. Yeah.
But if we think about it as a journey,
Mm-hmm.
it takes the pressure off.
It does, and it allows you to experiment.
So, okay, we've talked about personal style.
Yeah.
We've talked about the wardrobe audit.
Mm-hmm.
But now let's get real
Okay.
about the budget.
Okay, yes. Because this whole capsule wardrobe thing can feel expensive,
It can. Yeah.
especially when we're talking about investing in quality pieces.
Right, but it doesn't have to be.
Okay, how so?
Well, one of the best ways to save money is to shop secondhand.
Secondhand. There it is again.
Yes.
Our friend, secondhand shopping.
Thrift stores, consignment shops,
Yeah.
online marketplaces.
Yeah.
You can find such amazing deals,
Oh, absolutely.
especially on designer pieces.
Yeah.
You know, you can get them for a fraction of the price.
Yeah, it's like a treasure hunt.
It is. It's so fun. But what if you're not into secondhand?
There are other things you can do.
Okay, like what?
You can look for brands that are ethical and sustainable.
Okay.
There are a lot of great brands out there now
Mm-hmm.
that are focused on sustainability.
That's good to know.
Yeah, so you can definitely find
Uh-huh.
clothes that align with your values
Yeah.
as well as your style.
And then there's also the good old-fashioned sale.
Oh, yeah, sales.
Can't forget about sales.
A lot of brands have sales throughout the year.
They do.
You can sign up for email lists,
Sure.
follow them on social media
Yeah.
to stay updated on the promotions.
So it's really about being strategic,
Yes.
even when you're bargain hunting.
Exactly.
Okay, so in this part of our deep dive,
Mm-hmm.
we've talked about decoding your style DNA.
Yep.
We've talked about tackling the wardrobe audit.
Yes.
We've even talked about finding budget-friendly ways
Right.
to build your capsule wardrobe.
Yeah, we've covered a lot.
What's next on our journey?
Yeah. Well, next we're going to talk about
Oh,
styling your capsule wardrobe.
fun.
How to create versatile outfits
Yeah.
for all different occasions
Okay.
using those essential pieces.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
But before we jump into that,
Okay.
I want to leave our listeners with a final thought
Okay.
for this part of our deep dive.
What's that?
A capsule wardrobe isn't about having less.
Mm.
It's about having more.
Okay.
More style, more confidence, and more freedom. All right, so we're back.
Yes.
And we're ready to talk about the fun stuff.
The fun stuff. Yeah.
Styling our capsule wardrobe.
Exactly.
So we've decluttered.
Mm-hmm.
We've defined our style.
Yep.
We've even figured out our budget.
Right.
But now, how do we actually put these clothes together
Okay.
into outfits that we love?
I think it's interesting how having fewer items can actually make you more creative.
Oh,
Actually,
totally.
it's like that saying,
Yeah,
limitations breed creativity.
exactly. Yeah. So where do we start?
Well, one of the most important things is
Okay.
understanding the power of layering.
Layering. Okay,
Yeah.
so like throwing a blazer over a t-shirt
Exactly.
or adding a scarf to a dress.
Yeah, that's a great example.
Okay, so layering is key
It is.
because it adds dimension to an outfit.
Right.
And it also helps us
Yeah.
get more mileage out of those core pieces.
Yeah, exactly.
So speaking of mileage,
Mm-hmm.
how else can we maximize
Okay.
the versatility of those items?
Oh, accessories are huge.
Accessories.
Yes.
I love a good accessory.
Oh, me too.
It's amazing how like a
Yeah.
necklace or a belt can just totally transform an outfit.
It can?
And then shoes too, right?
Oh, shoes are key.
You can dress something up or down
Mm-hmm.
just by changing your shoes.
Yeah, you could wear a dress with sneakers,
Yeah.
or you could wear it with heels.
And it's a completely different look.
Totally different look.
Okay, so we're taking
Right.
those basics,
Yeah.
we're adding layers, we're adding accessories.
Yep.
But then how do we bring in those unique pieces?
Okay.
Huh,
Yeah.
The ones that really make our style feel personal.
Yeah, I think that's where it gets really fun.
Okay.
You know, you can showcase those statement pieces.
Cool.
Whether it's like a vintage jacket
Okay.
or a bold scarf or, you know.
Yeah, that one-of-a-kind handbag
Yeah, exactly.
nobody else has.
It adds personality.
It does. It really does.
And it makes your capsule wardrobe
Yeah.
feel uniquely yours.
So it's not just about like sticking to a formula.
No, not at all.
It's about really letting
It's about expressing yourself.
your personality shine through.
Yes.
What are some other ways that we can do that?
Well, you can think about textures.
Okay.
Like maybe you love silk,
Yeah.
or you could incorporate some interesting patterns.
Oh, I love a good pattern.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're building a capsule wardrobe
Mm-hmm.
that's functional, it's stylish,
Right?
but it also really reflects who we are.
Yes. And it should make you feel confident.
Yeah.
It really should.
I think when you feel good in what you're wearing,
Mm-hmm.
it just gives you this boost of confidence.
It does.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
I want to touch on sustainability one more time.
Yeah, that's important.
Because I feel like
Yeah.
a capsule wardrobe can actually be a really sustainable choice.
It can.
Because we're buying less.
Yeah.
We're being more intentional
Right.
about what we're buying.
Exactly.
And we're investing in pieces
Mm-hmm.
that will hopefully last for years.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, this has been so much fun.
It has.
I feel like we've really covered
We've covered a lot.
a lot of ground here
We have.
about capsule wardrobes.
Yeah.
So before we sign off,
Okay.
I thought it'd be helpful to just recap
Okay.
some of those practical tips
Sounds good.
for anyone who's ready to get started.
All right, let's do it.
So first things first,
Mm-hmm.
do that wardrobe audit.
Yes. Get rid of anything that's not serving you.
Exactly. Then identify your personal style DNA
Figure out what makes you feel good.
and then start building your capsule foundation.
With those versatile basics.
Those workhorse pieces, right?
Yes. Invest in quality over quantity.
And don't forget to have fun with it.
Yes. Have fun.
Bring in those accessories, those colors, those patterns,
Express yourself.
and make it feel like you.
Yeah. And remember,
Yeah.
it's a journey, not a destination.
Oh, I like that. We're bringing it back.
Bring it back.
So be patient with yourself.
Yes.
Experiment and enjoy the process.
I think that's great advice. Well, that's all the time we have for today.
Oh,
We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into capsule wardrobes.
thanks for joining us
And remember, you can find more style tips and inspiration,
on our website.
so be sure to check that out.
We'll see you next time.
Bye for now.